intentions, distractions for today's call, and what's been on your weekly playlist. Uh, I'll pass it to Nate.
Intentions are to catch up with comms in terms of parameters and Graviton training and all that good stuff, and see where I can help out, especially with Hubspot. Distractions. It's morning. I'm getting my coffee, and that's about it. So my playlist. I've been listening to a lot of Bill Withers recently, and it's just been putting me in this kind of smooth move. So yeah. But I'll pass it to Mount Mono.
Thanks, Nate. My intention is to catch up with what Chewy's been prepping up with the new working group manifesto. See if we have any campaigns going on. Maybe if we can use comms or Twitter to get some people doing user testing. And no distractions. And on my playlist, again, a YouTube channel that it has like soundtrack from movies, but like 1 hour long, and it's sort of like it's always like meditating with, and it's like different, like Alexander or Maximus from the Gladiator, or the different movies that I just hear when I'm working. So that's that, and I'll pass it to Tam.
My intentions are just to sync with comms, hear what's going on, see how I can be useful in any way. And my distractions are I have like 2 to 3 big things I really want to finish today, and even just drafts, and they're like in my mind. So I need some quiet time to put them on paper. So I'm trying to shut that down in my mind. I'm not succeeding. So hence I'm a little distracted. And my playlist, it's mostly podcasts, and there's this nice group out of Florida, oddly, who have this podcast for it's like Agile Coaches Corner, and they have like some pretty good things. I listen to them on like 1.5 just to speed things up, but some episodes are really nice. So I've gone through probably about 5 or 6 of those, I would say, recently, and I enjoyed it. And I'll pass to Lauren.
Oh, sorry, I just turned my video on, not my mic. Hey, everyone. My intentions for the call are just to see you were at for comms. I wasn't at the last comms call, so I feel like a little bit of the loop. So happy to be here. My distractions are like the same. I have so many things that I want to do. Plus, I think I have to pick up a food order, so I might have to jump out a little early. What's been on my playlist this week? I've been listening to like kind of on repeat this song by like an old band called Miranda. It's like perfecta. It's like perfecta para mi amor. And it's been stuck in my head, and I've been singing it to my dog and like taking videos of me dancing, and it's so cheesy. It's great. I'll pass it to David. Hey, David,
Juan, are you there?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that is cheesy and great. I love it. And my I've just gotten interrupted briefly, but if you can still hear me, intentions are to sync up and get plans for the weeks ahead. Distractions, none today. And on my playlist is a little bit of country music, little Luke Bryan, little Florida Georgia Line. Sometimes I like to embrace my redneck self. So I do live in the West. I think it's fair. And I'm really pumped to hear Manu's thoughts, because I think we do have some space in the Twitter in the days ahead to support other campaigns. So looking forward to working that out. And with that, I will pass it on to Metaverde. Good morning.
Good morning, David. Hey, hi. I miss all of you. Had a great time at MCon. My intention is just to hang out with a bunch of people I really like who I haven't spent time with. And my distraction is my own bad self. And I don't know. I'm going to throw a wild guess. Zeptimus, have you gone?
Oh, thank you, Metaverde. Yeah, my intention, is just to sing. And I sent the letter David wrote to CoinGecko. And I also listed a bunch of things we need to, CoinGecko is asking for stuff we don't have yet, like the exchange where we're going to be listed. I think it will be Uniswap before token ends up being transferable. But I mean, I don't want to deploy that too much. But just happy to be here, and I'll pass it to Juan. Did you go?
Thanks, Septi. No, I haven't gone. My playlist have been this album from a rapper that is called Crudo Means Raw, and the album is called Esmeraldas. It's really good. It's like an hour long, so it's good to spend some time. And I wanted to come here, to collaborate, and also because I want to, continue promoting engagement around the 75% governance give back vote that will happen this weekend. And also that the Graviton training is starting today, so a lot of excitement around it. And I don't know who's left. Did Griff go? Okay.
No, I haven't. So my intentions are really just to hang out. So excited about Graviton training today. I hope that it's going to be. I hope that you have space. I don't know if 25 people will. These 25 rooms will be enough. So that's exciting to me. And then distractions are that I'm driving, and that will end soon. Though I'm almost sure where I need to be. And on my playlist, it's mostly the same playlist that if anyone's been to any of the Ram Hack Shack sessions, I play every time. It's like this green light playlist that I just pretty much have on repeat. Although I actually added Bill Withers' song to it the other day. A shout out to Nate on that one. But so I can't see who else is on who else needs to go, so I'll pass it to Chewy.
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, perfect. Let's start with our agenda topics. And I think the hottest thing going on right now is definitely Graviton training. We are all very, very excited for this. So we're going to be supporting Gravity during the following weeks for promoting the training. We're going to be doing this on Twitter, and we're also going to be helping. I don't want to say like Gravity DAO because it's going to probably like confuse more people. But if like talking about the comments upgrade and how things are going to evolve, we are trying to provide Gravity with like the initial or the basis for having their own platforms. And this is mostly because as an insight, we see that there is a lot of people that follow the token engineering commons that are super interested in conflict management and just related topics that have more to do with Ostrom, not really with like collaborative economics or something like this. So we feel that we can take this opportunity to start funneling people to Gravity's own like Twitter account or any like a communication platform. And this can be like the basis for how the Comms DAO is gonna be working. So we want to start helping Juanca and all of the Gravitons to to start having like clearer communication channels, and at the same time that they can get the benefit of organizing their social media. And if Gravity introduces itself to other communities and starts making proposals here, we want to have like enough backup for Gravity as a program without it like necessarily being like a working group in the TEC as we know them, right? So I really, really want to try to go around like any confusion that this might generate, since we're still figuring out a lot of working group like funding proposals. But it's something that we're gonna be trying out the following weeks. So if anybody wants to help supporting this effort for Gravity Comms, please feel free to get close to us. And this we're gonna pick up a little bit on this when we discuss the current state of the TE Comms DAO. But before that, we're gonna go through the onboarding videos production that we were discussing last week. There was some confusion around this, but I think with Katie, and she could like give me some feedback on the way onboarding usually does. Onboarding usually does in Communitas, in what's going to become the Communitas working group. So based on this feedback, this is how we changed it, and I wanted to open it for everyone to just to see if you had any feedback for this. So our first video would be like an introduction, like a TEC brief introduction. It's 30 seconds long. The second one would be our mission, vision, values, and how we are going to go through them. The cultural build is going to be our third video. The fourth one is the TEC working groups. Fifth one is TEC visual explainer, and well, you kind of know how it's like divided. This is more based in how Katie has been doing their experiences. But if you can visualize this, it would be like a dedicated YouTube channel or playlist that you would like click on, and you have to watch these videos like in order, right? So these are great as supporting material for onboarding, but what we were very interested in doing in comms is be able to develop these videos so that they can work by themselves. They can work great if someone is there for presenting them and talking new contributors through them, but we also want these to be pretty like self-explanatory for people to be able to use this also and find this information useful and logical. So based on how this is divided in taking in account, like for some of you that were here in the previous comms working group, to see if you can think of any ideas or improvements or maybe something that you like from the other proposal. So I'll just start passing it to see if anybody has some input on these onboarding videos, and I'll start with Tam.
Yeah, it seems great. I mean, I trust Katie to know what orientation needs since she does the videos. I dropped the Zen Hub issue in the agenda here, just because there was a piece of communication from Katie specifically that I think maybe people haven't seen yet, so it's worth maybe having a look. But what she's saying essentially is that just for Communitas, their goal is not an intro to the TEC video, and maybe that's something else that can be made. It's more like, oh, the time for Communitas onboarding, the time for TEC onboarding doesn't work in your schedule because you're in New Zealand or you're somewhere. Like there have been a number of people who just can't join that meeting. There was someone who's like a school teacher, and so that the hour that the onboarding is inaccessible to some people. So this orientation video is a short video, 15 minutes, anyone can watch and feel a little more oriented into the TEC so that they can know where to go from there. So it's not so much to be sort of a big theme about what the TEC is. It's more just like, if you can't make this call, this 1 hour that we have a week, here's a 15-minute video. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind when we talk about this, because I think if we look at it that way, instead of really introducing people to the TEC, which would be a much bigger thing than this, we can sort of see it that this can happen quickly versus taking a lot of time to try to nail it perfectly. And I'll pass back to you. I don't know. I don't know how you want me to pass it to someone else, or?
Manu, do you have some feedback on this?
No, just that the resources of my agency are at our disposal. Again, I see some of these videos that are just being someone recording their own screen, so not a big production budget needed. Regardless, there's animators and designers that we can put in the mix to just increase the value that we created for these media assets. And yeah, I've been doing. I already went with Katie on the community working group sync call earlier today about some processes that would be interesting to emulate from the index co-op, and I think we're going to incorporate them. So I'm happy to talk about it with you, Chuy, tomorrow in our or Thursday in our 101. But yeah, I'll just see what else comes about and see how I can help. And I'll pass it to Ivy.
Sorry, I just got in. Can I pass it to someone else? I don't know what's yeah, sorry.
Okay, let's pass it to Nate.
Hey, yeah. I think that in my opinion, that Tam had a good point in separating what Unitas
I'm
group
sorry,
needs.
you're breaking out a little bit, Nate.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello? Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
I hear you good.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say I would separate kind of like what Communitas needs versus like what we want to have in terms of just general education. But I don't know what that looks like and the form it takes. I do think it's really important to have educational videos for various things, and it's good to get that process down of creating these types of videos because I do think it'll serve a huge purpose in the future. But not sure what the priority is, so I leave that to you. But I like the idea of creating these videos. So with that, I'll just pass it back to you.
Thank you, Nate. Septi, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, I think like both videos can coexist, and it's good. It's awesome to have them both. And if you have one approach and Katie have one another, let's just make 2 videos and use every video for the purpose we want to use, and it's awesome. I'll pass it to Juan.
Yeah. I also think that content production is very important, and that the most content that we provide are the calls, but we like this kind of content is really good. And like, yeah, sometimes when we are just starting, we see like making 2 videos and we think that it's a lot, but I feel like the community can have like like a bigger load of content production in this sense. And yeah, I support like short-term videos, but also long-term videos, as we discussed with Nate. I think yesterday that also having long format videos would be interesting.
Thank you, Juanca. David, would you like to add something, or also Griff?
I'll just echo Zepti's statement that long videos are a completely different animal. And it seems to me like it's a generational divide. So the short format videos are targeting the younger audience members, long form a little more older audience members. And the short form is very, very popular right now with the advent of TikTok. And so I see long and short videos as filling distinctly different needs as well. And there's definitely space for both.
Okay. Well, before I continue with this, just really quick, I see that David, you added to the agenda the analytics corner. But if I'm not mistaken, you presented last week. Would you like to present today as well? Since I mean, we discussed that it was going to be bi-weekly, just so that I can make room in the agenda and.
No, that was an accidental cut and paste. So sorry about that.
Okay.
I thought I might be able to just
No
post
worries.
the link on the bottom of the agenda for people to have access to if they wanted to see the data. But my computer is bogging down horribly, so I think I should abandon that project.
No worries. And just as a reminder for everyone, next week we're gonna have the analytics corner. Okay, but before we pass on to the next topic agenda, I wanted to make a really good point that I think that is gonna help a lot of the present people here. Just regarding this, like the part of the videos and what is needed versus like what we recommend. So trying to start from scratch. This is also very relevant when it comes to the Comms DAO proposal. And why is this? Because what we would like to do is to fulfill the comms needs that other working groups might have, and also other token engineering related projects eventually. This case is like a perfect example of orientation needs some videos, right, for onboarding, because they just need the tools, right? So as you know, we at Comms love coming up with new videos and productions and putting this together. So the way it would work is that we play a similar role than an ad agency, right? So if a working group approaches Comms and they say, we need this Medium article, we need these introduction videos, we need this campaign for promoting this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna organize so that we can provide for these communications needs. But of course we can make recommendations, but we would never try to produce or come up with something that goes against the goals of the people that need this. So if Katie needs some videos and we make a proposal and we make this, okay, so this is what this is the idea that we have for the onboarding videos, and this is not something that Katie likes or agrees with, there definitely can be some bouncing around with the idea, you know. So we were just Tam and I we're just talking about this. We don't think the right wording is a client agency kind of relationship, because we're different, thank God. But it's a similar relationship, right? So we provide these services and these different content and planning, and in the end, the working group, if it's Gravity or if it's orientation, or if it is another DAO that works for something token engineering related, they would need to agree with what we are going to produce as if they were clients, right? There is some different stuff there regarding funding and all of this, but hopefully this can all like I'll put this together in a bigger proposal because it's a more complicated topic. But this is something that I wanted to be very, very clear about. Like, we are not like we in Comms Group as producers or content creators. The intention is not to like just impose what is going to happen, or say like, okay, we are subject matter experts in this. I mean, we want to go like hand to hand, and we want to like develop the dynamics and correct and appropriate workflow for this to be like a more specific process that we want to follow. So before I go on and start getting a little bit more in deep dive with Comms DAO, is there anything that someone would like to ask regarding this, or how it usually works? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Sam.
I'll jump in with some thoughts actually, because it would be an amazing resource for any DAO to have a creative agency on call, right? Like to just be able to come with needs to the creative agency. But I'd say that probably one of the things that's going to be important is like, what are the boundaries? And for example, as the working group lead of the stewards, I might make a video. You know, this is a duocracy, right? We want each of the working groups to have the autonomy to be able to do what they think is needed for the working group. Or transparency might make a video for transparency. Or I might say, I'm really not good at this. I'm going to request a service from Comms because they're the experts and can really help make this great. So it's sort of like the boundary is like the working group has the autonomy to do what's necessary for the working group, but we have this amazing resource where we have like our personal creative agency available to also make high quality you know, videos or comms or other things that could really benefit as well.
Oh, thanks, Sam. Yes, definitely. This is not something like mandatory, and it's not our intention, right? It's not our intention to. If you produce any kind of content, you have to make it go through us. I mean, if it works, it works, right? So if a working group with their own autonomy wants to make any kind of content, our position is more specifically, we're here for whatever you need, right? But you don't have to use us. I don't know, like maybe in the future there are gonna be like many like DAOs or this kind of like service, like as in like a decentralized agency kind of example. But I mean, people are free to do like whatever they do. So this is definitely not the exception. Like, we're here to help. We're gonna try to optimize our resources for meeting with like deadlines, and if a specific kind of content is needed for a campaign, which is something that has happened to us in the past, right? Like with the hatch animation video, it was done like halfway through the hatch. So we definitely need to organize more, but to meet like some of these deadlines. But yeah, our intention is completely to complement whatever needs there are. So with the onboarding videos that Katie is requesting, and then Juanca with Gravity social media, these are like some examples. Maybe Manu and I are going to also talk about a call that we had with Symmetric, so that we can like give more examples of this. But we're definitely in the right track there, Tam. Nothing is like mandatory. It's a service that we want to provide, and we as well we need to like prove ourselves to the community to see what we are capable of doing, and just to make to spread the word about the tool that we can represent for token engineering field. Does anybody else have some opinions or input in this about how the Comms DAO provides services to other working groups and DAOs? T-related DAO, sorry about that. Wanted to clarify. Okay, so let's go with the next agenda topic. which is how are we gonna do this? Like, how are we gonna transition to the Comms DAO? I know that the idea and the proposal is not clear enough. Stay with us. Stay with us. We're working on improving this and making it more understandable for everyone. But this is why I also wanted to start asking around the process that we intend to follow, just to see if anyone has some also opinions or suggestions in the matter. So first of all, I feel that if we come up with a new manifesto that focuses its objectives on the phase that we're going to transition to, this is going to be like a great first step for everyone. What do we do? How do we do it? Like, who do we do it with? These questions is something that the manifesto can answer. So this would be definitely like our first next step. After that, I know that Tam, you had some questions regarding this in the last sprint planning call. We want to have a contributor index, and we want to start onboarding some of these contributors by the time we reach the Commons upgrade. Why is this? Because the same thing that we right now do with the TEC, where we have different contributors and assign like different roles and organize and think around this. The idea is that after the Commons upgrade, we start doing something similar, but with, let's say, like a handful of projects that we are already providing comm services to. Gravity is one example. The TEC onboarding videos, we just like see it as an internal project, which is within our basic like functions and roles within the TEC. This is something also that needs a lot of clarification. We are not divorcing the TEC. Like, if we are able to provide services to other communities, it is because we have a check mark on our duties in the TEC. So this is also something important that I wanted to clarify. But we're gonna need more contributors, right? And we're gonna need these contributors to know what token engineering is. So we want to start with a different kind of onboarding that focuses more on like the ad agencies part of it, like how it translates to creatives that have previous experience in these agencies. But we're gonna follow an onboarding that is gonna be more, let's say, based on Acid Laser's own path. Some months ago when he came here, like, he didn't get a lot of what we did, but there was a ton of design that was done. So as he started like working in making valuable contributions to the TEC, he started getting it. We want to develop a process that gets closer to this, right? We don't want people to feel that they need to get everything that we do before they can start contributing. So this is what we want to do. This is something critical for the Commons upgrade for us. Like, we need more contributors and we need more people that have previous experience in comms and in campaign planning, project managing in comms, because this is an experience that we have. We need more communicators in the token engineering part. So we can really go anywhere if we don't have those. This is why we feel this is a really important second step. So,
can I add something to that just really quick? There at MCon, I got introduced to the M Guild, the Raid Guild crew, and I think that we might also we could use services like that. I mean, that's the only one I know of to fulfill like specific needs for specific projects on occasions, and it might help us diversify as opposed to always needing to onboard every contributor to be like part-time TEC to find if there's a clear project plan, then we can also have we can just go to Raid Guild with the project plan and ask for the exact support we need for that specific project, and then introduce them to our community in that like short-term, one project at a time way, which would probably also be really valuable, because they actually do a lot of token engineering work for different communities as well. And they have everybody. They have project managers, designers, graphics, animators. They have it's like a whole over 150 people are, you know, available for raids.
Thank you, Griff. This is definitely something that we need to check out, and we'll include Raid Guild in this like reach out plan to see if there can be like any kind of spotlight or just anything between the communities. I feel that they're in a very, very close path that we are right now.
That's actually a great idea to have them do a spotlight. I'll see. I can reach out to them and connect them with Nate to do a spotlight and see how it could work. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Let's. Okay. So this could be a third step, right? Not only because of the outreach like itself, but because we can also get a better idea of what their needs are and how we can improve this, right? So a fourth step would be to put together another proposal for the community submitted to advice process in a more formal way and explain as easy as we can to like how we are gonna work and how what's our short, medium, and long-term goals with this. This can also like help us like develop certain like I don't want to say like standards, but just imagine if we like somehow had like some kind of input or sync with other comms departments or working groups in other communities and in other DAOs. We're very like excited to put this together and to start like building these relationships and to also like start fostering like even the comms strategies, because in a very like near future we think that we could start maybe like sync calls for new contributors, and this onboarding process like can get more enriched, but eventually this call can become just a weekly sync call for everyone that is doing comms for TE, like in any way or form. Manu and I is something that we have talked a lot, like even in the future putting together a proposal about setting these like standards, right? Or maybe putting out like some kind of like method or our own like stories developing comms in the TE space, so that onboarding and strategies can be something more let's say something that has already had its own path and its own like advancement. This is something that we see like in a very, very close future, and once we are able to spread the word and also communicate it in a good and efficient way to our own community, then our fifth step would be to make a formal proposal to request initial funding for 6 months and to start working as a working group in the TEC. So I'm gonna pass it to see if we can get some feedback on this, if maybe we are missing some steps. But this is like the simplest that I could, the simplest way I could find to communicate this to the rest of the TEC, just so that, yeah, like make some clarifications as usual. So I'll pass it to Manu.
Yeah, I'm actually more curious to see what other people have in mind in terms of what we've been working on. I know we spoke with Symmetric, and like Tam said, right now it's not clear yet if we're gonna offer comm services to other DAOs and also to other working groups within our DAO. Then it's gonna be like a competition for human resources in a way. So that would be interesting to clear out and like Tam said, delineate some boundaries and that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what other people are thinking about what Chu has been working on, this new working group manifesto and this updated direction. So I'm going to pass it to Nate because he always has really good insights on anything and everything. So I'll pass to you, Nate.
Yeah. So perhaps Chewy, can you frame this so I can respond properly? I'm not sure exactly what the question is regarding.
Just any general feedback that you may have about these steps that we're gonna follow to shape the Comms DAO a little bit better. Any questions that you have around this, or any steps that you feel that we're missing, or also if there's something that you don't get, it's also fine, right? Like, I don't really get how this part is gonna work. So yes, it's more of an open feedback question.
I honestly, my questions and ideas around this are more on kind of the macro level in terms of like where are we going with this? You know, what is the most ideal type of network or comms DAO? What is its purpose? What is it doing? You know, how are you scaling it? Are we keeping this a tight-knit group, or are we expanding it to anybody can participate at any time? Like, these are like fundamental questions for me to really understand how these kind of like what I would call service DAOs, how they operate and what their purpose is. I think that, you know, once you become, you know, in service to other DAOs, and especially within the TE space, like, I think you become these projects and these organizations, which I think is really beautiful. I think, you know, you stop thinking about, you know, being TEC and we are the comms for all TE initiatives, that, you know, we are a public good. We are collectively, you know, building something for others. But I think there are a lot of questions in terms of how you organize yourselves, how you scale it, and what your interpersonal relationships are within that DAO. Because, I think those are really important questions. Are you allowing anybody to come participate, or do you want to grow gradually? And so just things on that level, but that's it.
Okay.
Sorry, I showed up late.
I say that in a. Sorry, go ahead, Durgata.
Oh, sorry, I showed up late, but I do have some questions about that question. So whenever it's good, I'll pop in.
Okay, so if we had to like grab an example as of how we would work, I feel that the boss swarm in OneHive is like our closest comparison. If you run like any kind of swarm, or are like a contributor in any like OneHive working group or team, let's say, you can always reach out to Buzz, right? So right now in Gardens, the team that is working on Gardens is has someone from Buzz taking a look at every like update and everything that they have, so that they can run like a proper campaign on it. And it's just like it's let's say everybody in Buzz is like that, right? So what projects are there on that we can help in communications wise? For example, in the Common Swarm, I do like weekly updates, right? That haven't been so weekly lately, but that's another issue. So I usually gather like information about updates that is going on in the Common Swarm, and I think with Buzz so that they can promote these when they have their monthly updates for the whole swarm, or if we like once we put out the the comments upgrade, once we reach it, we could promote this on the One Hive side through the comments form, right? So it's pretty much like a working group that is open for it's open for everyone on One Hive to use. I feel that the main difference is that the way we are going to scale it is that we are going to offer these services to emerging token engineering projects. So what if the TE Academy, for example, starts like a course, right? And it's like, okay, so we're going to start like this, and it's going to last for like 3 months, and this is the people that are going to like join and everything. So we would develop a campaign with them, and we would like put together a team to work on this campaign so that they can start like focusing more on the course itself and not really like on the comms needs. So I would say that this might be like the only difference between Buzz and us. And what we and it's how we're gonna scale it is definitely like a very interesting area of it. But this is something that we want to like explore when we have like contributors and when we are able to execute these projects. So I don't know if that puts a little bit more of light into how it should work, Nate.
No, it does. I just, the question I have is, when we do have a lot of work that needs to be done, and you have more and more people who are interested in obtaining these TE services, especially, how are we paying people, and how do we incentivize projects to actually utilize this DAO? And I do think that it'd be interesting to have everybody being paid in TEC tokens and forcing some, the people who are using this as a utility, adding utility tokens. So, part of that value creation process. But I'm curious to, those aspects of it.
Okay, so let's see like an example, right? So T project approaches the TEC, and they would like us to put together a campaign for something that they are releasing. So this would need to go through a proposal, right? So logically, it makes like this other project buy TEC tokens so that they can support the proposal. And if our community, if the TEC finds this campaign valuable for advancing the token engineering field, we would vote on this proposal and we would approve it, right? And I feel that it could be good if at some point, like instead of going like directly to individual contributors, these funds can move to the Comms DAO. And as a working group, we could also vote on paying these contributors for executing this campaign. That's kind of like how I had thought of it, but I really like the idea for paying in TEC tokens. Do you have any thoughts on this? And also Durgaras, we can definitely go back to you before we finish this call.
Yeah. So a couple of questions is like, how is it that we're distinguishing ourselves from something like Marketing DAO, which is literally, very similar kind of thing. And then also just, maybe I just haven't been involved in comms enough, but there's just a number of basic pedagogy things that I'm concerned about. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got good designers and acid laser and things, but what is the process, let's say, for spooling up a style guide for a given DAO? Do you know what I mean? There's just a lot of really sort of basic, like if I'm working in an agency, there are things that I have to spool up, and I have my own methodologies, which I could gladly, sort of give to you guys and see if it works for you. But my point is, I just feel like these are all questions that we kind of need to answer, and I, there are other things like making sure that we have systems in place to keep the stuff we're going to be behaving, basic security things like if we're going to be accessing the Twitter accounts or whatever of people to manage certain things for them. I don't know, I just want to have a centralized sort of thing for us that then we can say, here's what things are we offering exactly? It would be good to sit down and have like a unique value proposition conversation. Who are the people that we're for me, it's always the who what question, right? So I'm always looking like, have we sat down and done a focus matrix on exactly what the Comms DAO is doing? Who are the list of customers along the top? What exactly are we doing? And then we can group those, and then we can do the we can use a spreadsheet to put X's so that we can figure out what exactly is it we're doing for different people. And I think that will clarify a lot of what we're headed toward in terms of what we're offering, what we can offer, and that type of thing. So I'm happy to do a brainstorming or a work grouping session for that.
Thank you, Durgadas. Actually, the next agenda topic is Rabbithole, and I know that it was your suggestion. Maybe I don't think we have enough time of the call to get into Rabbithole, but I'll DM you to see if you have time for a one-on-one this week, and we can think on both of these issues. Like I would love to just take a huge amount of notes with all of this before putting together like any proposal or advice process.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of documents I can just hand you, and then you can be like, oh, okay, that's what all that is, and then you can I can give you all that now, and then we can answer questions later.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And our last agenda topic that I would like to discuss is what the blocker that we currently have for Hubspot. There is like some issues like with permissions, like regarding sensitive information and the way just the information is organized in Hubspot. So I wanted to ask you, Nate, if so for some ideas about how we could get over this blocker so that we can put out like the mailing list this week. It's just like I really want this Hubspot thing to just work already. So however, you are much more aware, you and Durgadas, I feel, that are the ones that have more experience with Hubspot. Yeah. So I just wanted to like open the topic a little bit to see if what the blocker is and if we have to discuss it with the rest of the stewards or just whatever is needed.
Yeah, so Durgadas and I are talking. We're going to be meeting this weekend about kind of pricing out what services from HubSpot that we actually need, and to figure out how we're going to pay for that pre-Commons upgrade. So I know that you were open to paying it and then maybe getting payment retroactively from the DAO, and see if that the services that we come up with are worth the money that we're paying for it. And then the second thing is making sure that we have all of the people who are going to be using it all on the same page. And that also means, we want to have the website, we want to have Christopher involved. We want to have the Twitter team involved. We want to have everything to be integrated as soon as possible. That therefore we can all have a process and make sure that security is good around all this information. And I think the third thing is the input, the data that we get from people. So it's the data list that we have, data set that we have include all of the hatchers. Does it include everybody who's the contributor within the TEC? Do we have all of the right information in order to make these email blasts effective? And so these are some of the questions that are still lingering, and whether we should have kind of an input form for new members to make sure that they're on that list and how we update it and so on and so forth. But I think Durgados might have some things as well. So
I can just tell you real quick, in terms of security, you can get Teams, but in order to do that, you have to buy an immensely expensive thing. like I think it's like starts at like $800 a month. You know, like it's, you know, and so I don't want to start with that. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of security, what we're going to have to do is keep the group of people relatively small in terms of that. And then the moment you get Teams, then you can do all these different things where you can organize things according to teams, and you can block out what they do or don't have access to in terms of the HubSpot user interface, right down to the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have a massive amount of control over that. But we have less control, but let's say 75% of that. If we just add people, you know, kind of by their email addresses, which is part of the reason why I think in a previous call I'd suggested that we get sort of token engineering commons email addresses, and then we can lock people out of those, so we can just be like, you know, comms person 1, and then that comms person 1 is me, and comms person 2 is Chewy, and comms person 3 is Nate, and then we all just log in as that, so that we have sort of a high level control over what's going on there, and then we can, you know, just kind of break it out like that. So that's a way to work around the sort of Teams problem that I was mentioning. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff that we can do, but that stuff I know already, but like the back of my hand. So it's not a big deal to structure it like that, as long as we but that actually speaks to my larger question is that we really need to like vertically stack our entire comms thing, right? So like we need to have website control, we need to have HubSpot, we need to have all of that stuff harmonized. So if I've got a comms 1 person that's logged into HubSpot, there needs to be a comms 1 person who's got access to the appropriate things on the website, and so on, right? So this stuff, we just had a lot of problems getting traction on some of these things in the past, and even though people are stepping up, we're sort of laying sort of roadblocks in front of ourselves as we walk along, and so we need to kind of stop doing that. So if we're going to have a Comms DAO, we need to really think about the systematic, you know, kind of approach to that stuff, and I've got a bunch of opinions about that. But anyway, I won't keep going on about it.
Thank you very much, Durgadas and Nate, for these steps forward with HubSpot. Yeah, I'll like regarding the content, I feel that the weekly updates that Manu is going to be working on are a great starting point. So yeah, it pretty much is a matter of dealing with our own access and information issues. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you very much. We'll see you in SoftGov.